Hello, I'm Erica, the author of Your Life Plan, and here I am again with my Bookie Wook Club, where I look at the most exciting books around leadership, careers, and anything that interests me really, and then I share it with you so you get to look clever at dinner parties without having read the book. How good is that? So this week we're looking at Refuse to Choose by Barbara Sher. Now, Barbara Sher is one of my major heroes. I actually discovered her after I'd written my book, but I found that she, 20, 30 years before I was thinking about these things, was doing some fantastic work around this idea of how do you help people to understand who they are, what they're brilliant at, and then design a life, a working life, that really suits and makes the most of those talents. So when I read this book, Refuse to Choose, I got extremely excited and did a lot of kind of underlining and dog-earing, as you can see, because I thought it was absolutely terrific and really in my vein. I learnt a lot from it. So what's it all about? Okay, so Refuse to Choose introduces this idea of a term that Barbara coined, which is the term scanner. Right? And a scanner is somebody who's curious and interested in everything. And previously, these folk have been given a really hard time. They've been told that they're dilettantes, they've been told that they can't commit. Maybe you're someone who's always getting excited and initiating new projects, and everyone is kind of tutting about, you start but you don't finish, all this kind of stuff. And what Barbara Sher says is that actually a scanner is a really talented and wonderful thing to be. And she points out that Leonardo da Vinci, for example, was a great big scanner, right? So he had all these different projects and areas of interest, and actually his art, one of the things that we know him for, was his muck job. He didn't really like doing his art. He just did it to fund all the other interesting projects that he wanted to dabble in his life. So the first cool thing about Refuse to Choose is if you're one of those people who's always been called a dilettante or a jack of all trades and master of none, you can now self-identify as a scanner and reclaim your right to be what you are, which is a talented, engaged, curious person. And the second half of the book says, okay, so I now know that I'm a scanner and I'm going to make that okay. I don't have to just focus on one thing in my life. I can focus on lots of things. But still, in order to be successful, I need to get to a level of completion with those projects that helps me to have a sense of accomplishment and enable me to move on effectively. And the second half of the book is all about that. It's all about the different kinds of life designs that best suit different kinds of scanners. So, for example, she might say that you've got the structure of a good enough job. Yep, so a job that kind of pays the bills but doesn't take too much brain power and allows you to focus on and enjoy the rest of your hobbies. Or you might look at the life design where you spend 6 months of the year working really hard, earning a high level of income in a particularly specialised area. So you can have the other 6 months off to spend time on things that don't really make any money, but you really believe in. So I think this is absolutely fantastic. There's so many different kinds of designs. She explains and reclaims so much of what these talented people are capable of doing. And she tells loads of really great case stories and studies from how effective people became when they recognised that they were a scanner and they created a life design that really supported who they were and the things they wanted to accomplish in life. And the final thing I'll leave you with that I thought was really cool and I really took to heart was that she said when a scanner stops, and some scanners might spend 15 years, for example, becoming an amazing photographer and then decide they want to be a nurse and stop taking photographs. Other scanners might go to lots of different courses and just get to an elementary level of trying lots of things out. So there's all sorts of different ranges by which a scanner dabbles in things. But she says the point at which a scanner stops is when they got what they came for. So maybe you just wanted to learn to cook spaghetti and you didn't actually want to become an Italian chef. So going on the pasta course was just enough for you. Or maybe you've got to a level of fluency from living in France for the last 5 years and now you're ready to go to Sweden and learn Swedish from scratch. So for each of us scanners, there's an explanation there that says, you know what, I stopped because I got what I needed. And that's absolutely fine. So for me as a scanner, perhaps for you as a scanner, I think this book is really life-changing. It's brilliantly written and super, super interesting. And I would recommend it. Refuse to Choose by Barbara Sher.